End a summer walk with itchy mosquito bites. And your friends innocently claim they weren't bitten. Or in the summer, when you wake up, you have itchy wrists, but nobody else in the house has any bite marks anywhere. So what makes some people more attractive to mosquitoes? About 20% of people are more attractive to mosquitoes and get bitten more often. Even though scientists haven't found a solution to this discomfort other than insect repellent, they have nevertheless put forward a few ideas as to why some of us get bitten more often than others. In this video, we will be speaking about the amazing systems in mosquito needles and why they prefer some of us more than type A. Mosquitoes were observed to land on people with blood type O twice as often. People with blood type B are in the middle of this scale. So, if your blood is type B, you're bitten an average amount. Twice as often if it is O, and least often if it is A. According to another study, bacteria that live on human skin affect the mosquito's interest in us. According to a study conducted in 2011, excess of several bacteria found on human skin makes us a more attractive victim for mosquitoes. This may explain why mosquitoes bite our ankles and feet more. Actually, if we knew what kind of a mechanism these mosquitoes use that causes itching when they bite us, maybe we'd think it over before we killed them. A mosquito that detects heat, moisture, gas, or chemical secretions immediately begins to fly toward its prey. The mosquito lands so softly on its prey that it is usually not even felt. Then, with the help of a pair of tools around the mouth, it finds the most suitable spot to pierce. The first piercing process is performed with the help of the lower and upper jaws, 4 cutting blades inside a sheath cut deeply into the skin. The mosquito's receptors play an important part in determining areas with an abundance of capillaries under the skin. After a few attempts, the mosquito finds the vein it wants, passes a tube in it through the hole it pierced, and thanks to this tube, enters a thin blood vessel and drinks the blood directly from it. Or when it cuts through the skin, it sucks the accumulated blood from the surrounding tissue. The mosquito has up to 100 eyes, and these are in the shape of a honeycomb on its head. Often needles go vertically into the skin. The most important feature of the mosquito's needle is that it can bend. Thanks to this amazing feature, the needle moves freely under the skin. Thus, the mosquito's needle reaches the area where the most capillaries are located. However, there is a very important problem waiting for the mosquito here. The moment a mosquito bites a human, a kind of defense mechanism in the human body is activated. An enzyme which is necessary to prevent germs from entering the body and to stop the bleeding secretes into the wounded area. This enzyme is the one that coagulates the blood. The onset of clotting in the blood makes it impossible for the mosquito to suck blood. Mosquitoes have a brilliant way of dealing with this. Through one of the piercing knives, it injects a liquid that prevents the blood from clotting. This liquid contains an enzyme that prevents the blood from clotting. This enzyme neutralizes the enzyme secreted by the body's defense mechanism, and the clotting stops. Moreover, thanks to this secretion, the mosquito administers local anesthesia to its victim, which numbs the area it cuts. Humans don't realize their skin is being cut and blood is being sucked. This enzyme is what causes the skin to itch. All of this happens in a few seconds. You don't even notice that a mosquito is biting you. After this information, it is inevitable to ask the following questions. How does the mosquito know that the blood has a feature such as clotting? How does it know that the process it performs will be painful and that the victim will take precautions because of this pain? And how does it develop a method of anesthesia in case humans take precautions? Applying local anesthesia before surgery is a method that humans developed in the medical world. How did the mosquitoes get this knowledge? It is very difficult to synthesize these liquids even in laboratory environments. How did the mosquito get this fluid from birth? If we deny that these traits were given to the mosquito by a creator, we would be declaring each mosquito to be a local anesthesiologist. A person who wants to perform this procedure studies for years. In order for the mosquito to learn local anesthesia, if it was human, it would have to go through years of training. It is a well-known rule that the performer of an action is capable of doing it. That is to say that the person who does something has the power to do that thing. So, if I'm picking up this cup, I need to have the power to pick it up. In the example mentioned above, apparently the performer, the one that is doing something, is a mosquito. But a mosquito can neither recognize us nor anticipate our blood clotting, nor can it administer local anesthesia. It neither has such knowledge nor such power. We understand that in this case, the mosquito, which is apparently the performer, is not capable of performing that action on its own. In other words, it doesn't have what it takes to do that. When the human mind sees that the performer is not able to perform an action, it looks for a force behind that performer that can do that action. Imagine entering a room with a baby in it and no one else. You leave the room, And when you re-enter after a while, there is that baby in the room, but other than that, the layout of all the cabinets has changed. The layout inside the room has completely changed. Of course, you wouldn't think that the baby had done it, because the baby doesn't have the power to do it. The baby is not able to perform that action, so it can't be the performer. It can't be the person who did that. The human mind would determine that a person who is capable, who has the power to do that, would have entered the room and done that. Just like that, when we take a closer look at many actions in the universe, we see that the apparent performers are not able to perform those actions on their own. Mosquitoes are only one of them. Mosquitoes are not capable of anesthesia. That's why there must be someone behind them. There's an action, and the performer of that action must be able to do it. So since an action cannot be without a performer, there has to be someone behind these creatures who manages these things. And we call that someone God. These are the exact words from Islamic commentary of the Quran. Since an orderly act cannot occur without an author, a meaningful book cannot be without a scribe, and a skillful embroidery be without an embroiderer, the purposeful acts which fill the universe surely have an author. And the meaningful letters and amazing embroideries which cover the face of the earth and are renewed from season to season have a scribe and an embroiderer. So just as a book has to have a writer, if there is an action, there has to be a performer. Just like that, when we look at the performers of the current events in the universe, the ones who apparently perform those actions are not actually capable of performing them. That's why behind all of this, there has to be someone who has the ability to do them. We call that someone God. Don't forget to click the like button. You can also leave your video suggestions in the comments section below.